What if I told you that in one small Ohio town, multiple women vanished or were found murdered within just a few years, and almost no one outside Middletown has ever heard their names? This isn't an urban legend. This isn't a cold case. It's a cluster of them. And for the families waiting for answers, the silence hurts almost as much as the loss. Today, we're talking about 5 women from Middletown, Ohio. 5 lives cut short or gone without explanation, and 5 cases still unsolved. Let's start with the case that shook the town first. Lindsay Bogan, last seen on September 13, 2015. 30 years old, a mother, a friend, a daughter. Her remains were discovered almost a year later in Madison Township. Police believe she was murdered in Middletown, but no one has ever been charged. Next is Brandy Rene English, disappeared May 11, 2016. She was 41, 5'5", brown hair, brown eyes. Brandy wasn't a stranger to investigators. She had actually cooperated with police during the investigation into her friend Lindsay's disappearance. And then, she vanished too. Just a few months later, Nicole Flack went missing, September 1st, 2016. 30 years old, 5'9", thin build, brown hair, brown eyes. She too had been seen in the same area of town as Lindsay and Brandy before disappearing without a trace. Then came Melinda Sue Miller, gone on February 19, 2017. 47 years old, 5'2", blonde brown hair, blue eyes. Another woman from the same small radius, another unanswered disappearance. And finally, Michelle Burgan, last seen alive May 16, 2017. Her remains were found more than a year later in September 2018 in Moraine. Witnesses say she had been with a local man around the time she vanished. 5 women, 5 disappearances in less than 2 years, 2 found dead, 3 still missing. And here's where things get even more unsettling. According to multiple reports, many of these women knew each other, or at least crossed paths in the same troubled part of town. The Charlie Project notes that they shared similar lifestyles, faced similar vulnerabilities, and frequented the same area around Manchester Avenue and Central Avenue. If you live in Middletown, you know this intersection. If you've lived there long enough, you know these stories. But despite the connections, despite the patterns, despite families begging for answers, none of these cases have been solved. There was some legal movement. Police once claimed they had a strong case involving Lindsay's boyfriend, Eric Sexton, the man who reported her missing. No charges were ever filed. In Michelle Burgan's case, a man named Gilbert Revere was arrested and indicted, but only for tampering with evidence, gross abuse of a corpse, and failing to report a death, not for murder. For the families, that's not justice. For the community, it's not closure. And for these women, it's not enough. If you're from Middletown, you know this story doesn't get the attention it deserves. These women aren't headlines, they're memories. They were daughters, mothers, friends, and neighbors, and their stories deserve to be told.